If you want to support the channel, go check out my Patreon. There's rewards like end of video shoutouts and even featuring in a video. More rewards will be added and I'd love to hear from you guys to know what I should add. For more information, go to patreon.com/Maqwell. Life at this current moment is insane. We all know that. Outside restrictions have caused us all to burrow inside our homes and maybe even play FIFA more often. And sometimes, FIFA can get boring. But with the help of FIFA career mode tips, I have for you 5 different unique career mode challenges to keep you from being bored to death. After this video, be sure to check out FIFA career mode tips on Twitter and Instagram. He posts daily quality career mode content on both platforms. And I mean, hey, follow me if you want. The classic Sleeping Giants challenge. It's easy. Pick one of these 4 clubs. Olympique Marseille. There was a time back in the early 90s when Marseille were considered one of the best clubs in the world. But times have changed. Their last great success was winning the Coupe de Ligue in 2012. Excluding the 2019-20 season, they hadn't participated in the Champions League since 2013. And maybe we shouldn't talk about 2013. And since November 27th, 2011, Marseille have not been able to beat one of their biggest rivals, Paris Saint-Germain. And their fans continue to grasp onto their one Champions League trophy in 1993 in a state of desperation when debating against PSG's recent 2010 success. So, can you be the one to turn things around, like what Marseille seem to be doing slowly right now? AC Milan. Since 2011, let's just say, it hasn't been great for the Rossoneri.
And that's an extraordinary strike! Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Can you be the managerial tenure that brings Milan back to the top of the footballing world? Hamburg. The year is 1983, and Hamburg have just won the Champions League and are the best club in Germany. Now the year is 2020. And Hamburg were finally relegated 2 years prior after practically hanging from the cliff of the Bundesliga for years. A historic club that is in need of a resurgence. Are you daring enough to take the task? Villarreal. The iconic Yellow Submarine, a club that has come as close as the Champions League semi-final and runner-ups in La Liga. Since a heartbreaking relegation in 2012 that saw many stars leave, Villarreal have still managed to prevail and finish within the top 6 5 times in the last 6 seasons. Can you be the one to boost them just that little more and bring them to the success they have come so close to for years? Going over the rules of this challenge, rebuild the team by selling almost everyone in the first 2 seasons. You must keep at least 1 keeper, defender, midfielder, and attacker. Buy more unknown talents, look outside of the top 5 leagues, and turn them into superstars. You can use the Scout Future Star feature, and if you do, turn them into a key part of the squad. And finally, no financial takeovers or pre-contracts. And for goals, win the First Division League within 3 seasons, win the Champions League within 4 seasons, and bring the club back to the top. Alright, imagine this is an alternative timeline. Stan Kroenke decides to call it quits on Arsenal FC, and who comes to the throne? None other than the GOAT, Unai Emery. In 1 year, Unai causes economic turmoil that forces the club into the quickest liquidation a club has ever seen. After this, Unai leaves Arsenal and goes off to Spain, blaming the bankruptcy on everyone but himself. With the club being relegated to League 2, all you have left are players under 73 rated who are no younger than 24 years old. Your job is to bring this club back to its glory days. Can you do it? The new beginning challenge can vary in difficulty depending on what club you use, and you can do this with any first division club you want. Chelsea, Real Madrid, PSG, or even Manchester City after being found guilty of overstating sponsorships. The rules are simple. Remove any player who is under 73 rated, remove any player who is below the age of 24, use youth academies to create new club legends, and also make sure you limit how much you spend. Don't just immediately spend 100 million in League 2. Don't be dumb.
Number 3.
If you want a pretty unique challenge, the past, present, and future challenge is just for you. The idea is that you manage any club you want, and can only use former clubs of that team or players currently at the club. The future is either an academy player or a regen from a well-known player who used to play for the club. Rules: no financial takeovers, and the goals are win the league and the Champions League, and you can even limit the amount of seasons you have in order to achieve that goal. One of the worst falls from grace. In the mid to late 2000s, Bolton had a squad made up of aging veterans and bargains that would be able to challenge England's elite. They were considered the best mid-table side to ever grace the pitches of England. One of the greatest memories Bolton fans hold dear to them is when they held up against Bayern in a 2-2 draw in the now Europa League. But soon after this, Bolton would become almost unrecognizable. With debts rising and poor performances, Bolton would see themselves relegated by 2012. And by 2015, it was apparent that the club was in a terrible state, being buried in 180 million euros of debt. And by May 2019, the club was in administration, resulting in them being docked 12 points the following season. It is now the 2019-20 season, and the club has not paid its wages for players nor staff. Players began to protest playing, and as a result, academy players started for the club instead. The job is yours now, and it is time to bring Bolton back. Rules: recreate the protests by selling or removing all players above the age of 23. Replace them with academy players and free agents. The owner refuses to buy players, so for the first 2 years of your tenure, you cannot sign anyone. When you reach the Premier League, the owner has officially pissed off, and you can use the financial takeover to represent new ownership. And the goals: win the Premier League with at least 6 players in your starting 11 that you started with or found in the first 2 seasons. And bonus challenge: beat Bayern. Recently, Newcastle are in the middle of becoming one of the richest clubs in the world by the hands of the Saudi government. An incredible timeline this is. Now, I will not go into specifics of how I feel about the takeover because that doesn't matter, but I will say I am very much against it. Although for Newcastle fans, this looks like freedom from the grasp of Sports Direct owner Mike Ashley and his constant neglect of the club that has caused Newcastle fans nothing but misery. With that being said, welcome to the FIFA 20 Newcastle Takeover Challenge. Rules are simple. Use the financial takeover. You must keep at least 3 current Newcastle players in the starting 11 throughout the challenge. The Longstaff brothers shall become the next Xavi and Iniesta. Buy Kylian. At least 5 players must be from the UK and try to make more realistic transfers. Find the next Alan Shearer, Kylian Mbappe. You can either just buy a young English striker or promote a striker from the youth academy. I do absolutely condone buying Kylian Mbappe though. And there we have it. 5 unique career mode challenges for you to try out. Once again, be sure to follow FIFA Career Mode Tips on Twitter and Instagram. He continues to post even more challenges out there, and if you didn't like the 5 that were posted here, then there are plenty more on his Twitter and Instagram. And also send screenshots of your squads to him if you do one of these challenges. And if you want, send them to me as well through my social media. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. It's a bit different from the usual stuff, and if we can get over 80 likes on this video, we'll work on a part 2. And since some of you guys are new to the channel from his fan base, be sure to check out my own content. I think you guys will enjoy it quite a bit.